Welcome back to Procraft. Today we are covering the ENYA Inspire models, which is basically, so if you think about it, what does a guitarist really need? Well, you need an amp, you need a guitar, and you need some pedals to go along with that to shape your tone. What ENYA has done here is put all these three things right inside one product, and that is what they think is the future of the guitars. Well, if you agree with it or not, you can let us know in the comments. But taking a look at the guitar,
yes, absolutely.
What you have is a speaker unit which has been carved into the body of the guitar itself. So it's got two speakers with a combined output of 15 watts.
Yep.
So that's like
a practice style, your home practice style amp.
Exactly. So it's like
not too loud.
Yeah, it's not like you cannot gig with it in any form, but
wouldn't recommend that.
Quite loud to fill your bedroom and even practice with some friends. If you are practicing with a big drum kit, no, but if you've got something like a cajon and stuff like that, definitely it's loud enough to play with that. It's certainly louder than a traditional acoustic guitar.
Absolutely.
Alongside that, what you have is a processing unit. So what you see here, if you open up this cavity, there's a whole circuit board and like a lot of tech hidden behind this, and it's a DSP processor, so it's a proper processing unit, and you've got 4 different patches. The best part, it is connected through an app, and that's why it's called a smart guitar. So you control all the parameters through the app. You set your presets, you make your patches,
yes,
and then you just cycle between them with this button. Alongside that, it's a typical Strat with your HSS configuration, so it's not SSS but HSS. You've got a trem bar. It's an all carbon fiber build, so that's one more area of innovation that they have gone on and put in here, making it lighter than wood. So this is a 3 kg guitar, which is kind of a little lighter than some guitars.
Considering it's got an amplifier in here,
yes,
that's incredible. So we played the Nova Go Sonic earlier, which is a Les Paul style guitar, HH configuration, and obviously when you have a Les Paul, you have to have a Strat. That's kind of the way the guitar world works. And based on popular demand, ENYA has gone ahead and made a Strat style, but they've actually gone ahead and done like a slightly modern take on the Strat.
Right.
By which I mean they have a 2-point tremolo system,
right,
and also the scale length is not as much as a traditional Strat. It's more like a super Strat with 24 frets and a little bit of magic in the back, where they've actually made the adjustment of the tremolo system using the spoke wheel style, and I really like how they did that, because as a guitar player, adjusting the tremolo is always a pain.
Yeah, that's like so much easier to do.
And also another thing I need to mention, the neck finish itself, it's really comfortable to play. They've also gone ahead and really done some neat fret finishing on here. It's got these oval endings. See.
Yeah, so this is like I think only we see on brands like ENYA and some few other brands which are being really driving that innovation in terms of guitars, right? So I love how these frets like just end before the fingerboard ends itself, so like really nice.
Doesn't hurt your fingers, doesn't scratch you.
Right. Neck is also all matte, and it's a 16-inch radius that they have on the neck, so it's kind of an in-between. It's not a very slim neck, but it's not very fat either. So I think once again the PRS type of a
Yeah, and I think that's what ENYA has been going with all along. They want to like improve on existing designs.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're not completely trying to change over and alienate the
what
market.
is it? Yeah, no, that's important as well.
Absolutely.
And I think one more area of like convenience, which I think is the entire theme of the guitar as a whole, it's centered around convenience. Even your truss rod adjustment is the
absolutely.
open gear.
The spoke wheel style.
You have the exposed spoke wheel style. So you just put a bar in there and you can adjust the truss rod right away. You don't have to like open up a cavity and have an Allen key and stuff like that. So it's like really simple and it's built for purpose. Let's dive into some more features of it. So what can it do?
So it's got a digital processing unit in here, and just go over the tones. So this is like a clean tone. And then I'm going to go and with a little more gain on there. Traditional spanky tone. And then
like a overdriven tubes, like kind of that type of
running
sound.
through a tweed or something. And now we've got the slightly more.
So like more drive.
More drive, and if that wasn't enough, you've got like the ultimate.
Yeah, so that's like a distorted tone. So there's a lot of customizability and we'll get into that. But before we do that, let's just really quickly talk about the I/O that we have going on here. So if you take a look at this portion of the guitar, what you will see is a 1/4-inch guitar output. And that helps you use this guitar like a traditional guitar. So imagine you don't want to use the processing that's on here. You've got a better amplifier or a better processing unit. You want a raw output just from the pickups. You plug in a 1/4-inch jack, plug it into an amp. So from the start of the video, Keegan has been playing through the amp. Even when you're plugging it out, you have two options. Either you can use the processing that is coming from the guitar and just not use the speaker and use the amp to amplify the sound. So you can plug this directly into a PA system and it would have an amp model and effects applied on top of it. So it's like a DI signal can be taken from here as well. And a raw unprocessed signal from the pickups can also be taken from here.
Yep. So if I turn this off right now, the guitar is still on.
So this is what is happening right now is
it's your traditional electric guitar.
Yeah.
Turn it back on.
If you turn it back on, then the processing is applied.
So very
you can use it
convenient.
in two ways, and apart from that, if you take a look, there's a headphone out. So it can be used for a practice session just by yourself. You don't want to disturb anybody who's sleeping at your home or disturb the neighbors. Just plug in your headphone. You're in a college dorm, something like that. Just plug it in, have your headphones, play away, right? Apart from that, there's also a USB-C.
No.
What's that for? A very interesting feature.
Two features.
Yes. What are they?
So
How do you speak about them?
So one feature is obviously being a battery operated guitar, you need to charge the battery.
Right.
And they've given a convenient form of charging, which is your C-type that you use to charge your phones, so that you don't have to worry about any kind of extra charger. And what's more interesting is it actually serves as an OTG out, which means that in case you want to record through your laptop or through your phone, you don't need to have an additional sound interface. You plug this in using a C-type cable into your phone or into your laptop, and it detects this as a sound interface, which I think is an incredible feature for someone.
I think this is like really good, especially as a beginner. Suppose I'm just at home, or I want to make an Instagram reel of me playing a song. Now I would have to buy a separate guitar interface, like a audio interface, in which I will have to buy then cables that to go along with that, plug it into my laptop, have a completely have plugins for the guitar and stuff like that, which just makes it really complicated. Instead of all of that hassle, just plugging in a simple USB-C cable that goes from here into the laptop, have all the processing applied. I think I can even stream a Bluetooth track, and that will also go through.
Yes, that's another feature.
Just play it live and everything is recorded in high quality. So So I think that's a really convenient feature. Once again, the entire theme of the guitar is convenience. So these are like the guitars.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, they look like that as well. They have got
actually because the buttons and everything is kind of this very Apple style. Yeah. And they've also I like how they've kept the design very minimal.
Yeah.
No fancy designs over here, no lines.
That feature goes on with the inlays as well. So I think the Nova Go Sonic did not have any inlays at all, which, you know, for few people it can be a pretty confusing thing, especially for beginners or somebody who's not that great at, you know, watching the fretboard from the side. So yeah, they have added minimal inlays, but they have done it in a way where it's not intrusive and still the design is pretty minimal. So yeah, let's go in and hear the guitar in action. What are the sounds like? So we'll do this in two parts. So I'll just first go into the app and try and figure out different tones that can come out of the speaker over here. We're recording through this mic, you can see over here. And then later on we'll plug it into the amplifier behind us and see what the pickups sound like when they are taken raw and processed using an amp. Yeah, so if we take a look at the app, within the clean bank itself, there are 4 different presets. So you see your banks up on top, there are 4 banks corresponding to the 4 presets that we can cycle between using that button. But within each bank you've got 4 presets. So this is the first one called Soft Cry. Then you've got Waves. And then Old Time. Yeah, this is got like a chorus, tremolo, delay, reverb like type of a thing.
And Breathe. It's a tremolo.
Oh yeah, this is more of a tremolo actually.
So it's like
a flanger.
Yeah, so flanger I think. Flanger or univibe? It's a univibe.
Ah, it's a univibe.
So for all your Pink Floyd stuff,
yeah.
You know that.
And then what you can do is actually go in and hit the edit button, and then it opens up all the details of the patch. So you've got first an amplifier, so an amp model. You can choose between 2 amp models you've got on here. So one is a Deluxe Clean, which is like a Fender Deluxe, and then you've got 100 Distortion, which is like an SLO 100. So you've got 2 models over here. Following that, you've got an EQ control, so you can do your EQ. Then you've got modulation. So in the modulation section you have chorus, tremolo or vibrato. There are 3 things happening in here. So you can choose between any of these effects. Follow that up with the noise reduction. That's great because you've got single coils
and you need to reduce that
and
noise.
You've got noise reduction on board with the app. You've got delay, and then finally, to top it all off, some nice reverb. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effects and blocks which you can stack up upon each other and craft your different tones. So that's about the clean. Let's go a little bit and actually make a tone. So let me actually make a nice clean tone. So I mean, pretty much I like the Soft Cry thing already. It's pretty nice,
straightforward.
But if I would want something, I would probably push the mids a little bit.
It's very responsive.
How that comes to life. And even on here, I would want the bass to be pulled back slightly and the treble to be pushed up slightly. So now we've got like a really clanky, Fendery type of a thing. If I don't want any of this actually, I just want to have some more reverb though. So I'll just hit up the level. So if you notice, even the plugins that are on here, like the effects, they're very simple. They don't have like a lot of options.
No.
But that's a good and a bad thing. A good thing because beginners, it's really easy to figure out what you're doing and not get lost in like 4 different reverb settings. But bad because you've got like a limitation as to what you can do with it, right? So that's my neck.
Wow. Very nice clear sound.
yeah, sounds great right now. Let's go ahead and do a full high gain lead tone. So you can do everything in between just to keep the video a little concise and short. Let's just actually make a nice lead tone. So now we are on the lead patch. That's one way to do it. Presence. That's basically, so yeah, let's hit that up a little bit, make it a little more mid-focused. And then actually pull down the bass a little bit, sounding a little muddy. Push up the mids, not that much, but something like over here. Treble a little more. And I can add delay, level. Right now it's feeding back a lot, and that's because we have got like too much gain happening. But yeah, if you like that type of a thing happening, you can use it musically as well. I have a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. I mean, the amp has got some the really good sound. It doesn't sound
it's a good sounding
cheap.
amp, I mean. So yeah, that's how you use the app, and you can craft your own tones. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like connected to the amp and what the pickups are like when plugged into like a traditional amp.
Alright, so now I've plugged into the amp. As you can see, I do not have the processing unit on. I'm just running this as a traditional guitar.
Right.
So on the neck pickup, I've got like a slight crunch on the amp.
It's a very clear sounding pickup.
Yes.
I mean, but something that costs 50,000. What do you think? Like, how do pickups compare to something? It would be unfair to compare it to something that costs 50,000 rupees because that's
It's
like
got like a whole other things going on.
But like, yeah, so let's take like something like 35,000 rupees. So what
Yeah,
are
so
pickups like?
One thing I like about these pickups are that they do what I need them to do. So in terms of like I'm on the middle and the neck pickup, which is your Strat Splanky.
Yeah.
Splanky. And if I roll up the volume a little bit. Roll
That's
it up
nice.
a little bit. And then if I go right to the very responsive. What I'm going to do is now let's turn up the gain. Let's go to like something that's really heavy. And then if I roll down the volume, one thing I always look for in a guitar is how well the pickups are at low volume.
It's like an edge of breaker.
Edge of breaker.
Oh man, I love that.
So now it's basically acting as a traditional electric guitar and sounds pretty good.
Awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Sitting here, when you did that thing with the volume knob,
Yeah.
that like blew me away at how good and responsive that knob is really good. But like, yeah, pickups are, if you ask that question very honestly, pickups, if you compare it to something like a 50,000 guitar,
No,
it's up
no.
there. I wouldn't say it's bad.
It's not bad, but it's definitely
It's not like
something
one of those, some guitars around 50,000, traditional guitars around 50k budget, you start getting like proprietary pickups like Seymour Duncan's and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not that good, but it's good, like better than your traditional in-brand pickups, comparable to them.
Yeah, it's comparable to them.
It's just like them.
Yeah,
So-
pretty much. That's what I'd say. It's you've taken like a reasonably priced electric guitar and added the amplification and the processing on
Right.
and you've come up with this guitar, which in a traditional sense you would get the guitar and the amp and the processor. So
Right.
considering that, I think it's
But yeah, now I want to
incredible.
drive this conversation towards that budget
Yes.
aspect and how well we can justify it for what it costs. Because it costs a lot actually. I
Traveling.
think it makes a lot of sense, and how a hobbyist can justify this purchase is because you got a very decent quality guitar. Decent is an understatement. It's a good quality
It's
guitar.
a good quality.
And I think anything around 35-40k easily compares to that in terms of the pickups that it has and the overall playability and feel and quality of it. Added to that, you get a practice amp, so you are blowing another 12-15k for a good practice amp. You got a processing unit with so much customizability, so that's at least another 10-12k. So you've added like 25,000 for the processing and the amp that it's got.
Yeah.
You've got a inbuilt audio interface. You don't need a separate sound card and audio interface to plug into your laptop. That you're saving another 10-12k minimum.
Easily.
So yeah, if you look at it that way, then you've gotten headphone out and stuff like that. It's all battery operated. You can take it around very easily. You don't have to really, wait around and carry all that stuff. Very convenient for practice. You just pick it up and start practicing. 45 instead of 60,000 worth of stuff. So even that way, it does justify itself. So it would be interesting to see how this guitar is received in the guitar community as a
that
whole.
would be interesting.
And we would like to see your comments below on this. Also, the links for this are in the description. So if you're looking to check it out, do that. What else? Like, share, subscribe.
Absolutely.
Let's jam out.